introduce yourself. What is your name and what is your channel called?
My name is Joseph Dickerson. I represent Greater Works of Redemption's ministry. My channel is Facts 101. It's a spiritual life coaching, empowerment channel that I elaborate and help individuals with understanding, especially concerning the Bible, with historical things and prophetic things that are happening now.
Where are you from and what kinds of experiences allow you to be here and share content?
Well, I was born and raised Shreveport, Louisiana. Small town. I grew up just like any normal African American black man in those times. Mother and father in the house. Had a good mother, had a good father to a sense of parenting. Experienced gang-related events in my life. Elementary, middle school, high school. I experienced, regular things that any normal 18-year-old boy would experience. I got involved in a lot of street gangs and had a lot of dark experiences. I've done a lot of things that I'm not proud of as a man today. And I experienced racism, being mistreated because of the color of my skin. All in all, I, in a sense, had a very challenging upbringing right after high school to Fresno, California. And I had a grandmother that was here, and she was a very spiritual person. What God had for me here, and I came out here just on a test run, to be honest with you, and I ended up staying permanently. Experienced a lot of spiritual experience concerning the churches, spiritual growth, and just being around a different atmosphere, a different setting of people instead of being around negative stuff and running the streets. It was a very uncomfortable experience for me at first. Embracing, the church setting. I still had a lot of questions. A lot of things that were coming out of, the teachings at that time that I just wasn't bringing any clarity. And so it kind of, I want to say like the questions really launched my personal spiritual journey on trying to understand what God has for me. And
can you share your story or testimony?
Yeah. My testimony really is still in the process. I have really grown to a lot of things that I did not have any clarity of or understanding of concerning life and becoming a man, and in the future, a lot of painful, dysfunctional experiences, and just finding God for me brought me peace. I think my drive is just the love for God, and experiencing that, it made me appreciate the experience that I gained with God, knowing where I came from and knowing the pain and knowing the darkness that I came from. I learned to appreciate, and I embraced the light that God had shown me. So there was a lot of things that I experienced, a lot of things that I had came to know. God had placed a lot of people in my life, knowledge, wisdom, and even gifts in me. So within that being said, my testimony is still in the making. there's still a lot of things that God has called me to do that has not manifested yet, and there's a lot of things that God has done that has manifested. So I'm really excited, and I'm driven, and I'm just waiting to see what God has for this year for me.
How would you consider yourself as saved?
There's a lot that come with that question because, knowing God is one of the satisfactions and confidence that you have, knowing your salvation, believing in, studying God's word and praying and all that good stuff. But for me, I would say more so on the experience and the spiritual encounters that I've had. There has been a lot of, supernatural things that I've encountered and experienced that that gave me confidence in who I was in the sight of God and the purpose that He had for me to do. Some of the experiences that I've had, you can't even tie words to them. But I know that I am saved. Not only just according to what I've studied in God's word concerning grace and the death and burial and resurrection of Jesus Christ. I feel like I'm not saved. Those are the times where God showed me that there's nothing that I can do to keep me from His love. God had to show me years ago that what He did for us is far more greater than the curse of death. Understanding the faith that we stand in as a believer and as a Christian, it confirmed a lot of things pertaining to me and God and where we stand and my relationship with Him versus religion. Salvation is an internal thing. It's a very powerful thing, and it's something that goes far beyond this life. So you really have to discern it spiritually.
What is your channel about, and what do you want to achieve from it?
I want to reach people that are kind of like me. I believe that the normal, genuine individual would ask the same questions that I've asked in my entire life and with my entire walk with God. God can give us clarity and direction on a lot of things that have gone unanswered, not only just in people's lives, but also in things that have been unanswered in the church, where people can come and share what they're really experiencing and what they're really going through. I wanted to create a community of people where you can come in and share what you're really going through and be able to experience the love of God, be able to exhibit it, the power of healing. I came to a lot of churches leaving the same way I came. People come to the church setting and they come to the assembly of God's people because they want to experience God. I wanted to create that format for my channel where people can ask questions and I can give them clarity as much as I possibly can. If I don't know anything about any question that you ask, then I'm willing to dedicate time to study it and go and seek out an answer for you.
Is there anything else you'd like to say or add?
I would like the people to know that, just in case if you're wondering, this was none of me and this was all of God. If I had it my way, I'd be somewhere else, doing something else. I couldn't imagine the doors that were shut and also the doors that were open that instructed me to come to this path in life, to be this person that I am. It wasn't a will of my own. I just had a desire to be saved.